Hi everybody, and it's Lyn from Lyn's Craft Designs, and welcome back. Welcome back to me. I've got the molds from the kitty fridge magnets. I've had a lot of questions on that. And I'm going to show you this one just because it's easier to see. Alright? So, this is the mold, and I've got these molds listed in the resin supply list on my Amazon shop. I'll list that link below. And also the eyes. Now, I've got several different, these are the 12 millimeter. I've got several different eyes, not only that I purchased, but that I've got listed, because I was looking for, in particular, red eyes. And one of these three kits doesn't have any solid red eyes, none. The other one had, I believe, 3 different sets of red eyes. So I did wind up ordering 2 of these to get 2 of the same sets of eyes, because there are 2 of each color. I don't know how they do it, but in the set there are 2 of each. Okay? These are for like the ones that have a third eye. And I didn't want it to be an eyeball, obviously, because if you use an eyeball, then you're breaking up a set of eyes. These, on the other hand, it doesn't matter. So, I'll show you these. I'll show you the eyeballs too. These are really cool. They're a gradient color. This one's purple and blue. Blue and green. Oh, they're so pretty. Some of them are less, like this one isn't a gradient at all. It's just a solid red, although it's a textured red. And I believe there are others of those. Yeah, like these purples. Really pretty. Alright, so those are those. These eyeballs now. I love these that are kind of an icy blue. And then these are more of a green, but they have a blue around the outside edge, although that part would wind up being hidden in the resin. Now, I did say these are actually slightly different than these. I'll show you what I mean. This package has, I won't say a lot more, but it has a few of these that just barely have a pupil. So they're kind of snake-like or something. They're really cool. And then there are ones like this. And these pair that I haven't used yet, but these are sweet. They remind me of like a golden eagle eye or something. Bald eagle eye. So, you can actually come up with things like this. This was literally, this was a test. These were the white quick cure resin. I didn't want to throw them out, but they didn't actually pour perfectly. The tips of the horns have air bubbles at the tips, so they didn't quite form all the way. But who cares? Really cute. This one has the artisan powders, the waxes, it has UV resin, it has 2 little types of, one is crystals and one is gold colored. I don't know what they are, but anyway. And then this is a resin piece that I poured, and then it has this little crown with a stone in the middle. Lots and lots of techniques that really turned out cute. I have these eyeballs. I have them in the shop too. I believe like a 22 millimeter and a 30 millimeter, I think. I'll show you the molds to those later. Some of the molds just require a bigger eyeball. But these are 12 millimeter. 12 millimeter. So, I'll get together everything I need. This UV resin is what I'm gonna put the eyeballs down with. UV resin. I believe you could also just use a clear fingernail polish. Now, don't quote me on that. I don't know. But I know that the clear fingernail polish won't stick to the silicone mold and won't damage the glass eye. These are glass eyes. So, that should help for people who don't want to buy the UV resin just to glue down the cat eyes. But I do use UV resin a lot, so. Okay, I picked out a pair of the eyes. I've got a pencil. Seems really straightforward, but it really helps. I'm going to draw on the back side while looking at the front side. I'm just going to make a mark just to mark the pupil. Alright, I'm going to do that on both sides, so to speak, both ends. Then I'm going to turn it over and just connect the dots. All I'm wanting to do is be able to orient the eyes, the pupils, when they're down. Alright? Because otherwise, I'd just be trying to orient the eyes looking at this. Okay? And go lightly, because you'll have a tendency when you mark to mark downwards. And that really doesn't help. Okay? Okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to take my UV resin, or your fingernail polish, I'm assuming. I haven't tried it, so don't quote me on that. And just put a dot, less than a drop, on the eyes. Then I'm going to look at the eyes. Alright, they have a whiter top. Top to me. A darker bottom. That's the way I'm going to lay them down. Whiter top, darker bottom. Okay. Now, you'll see why we made the lines. So I can just... They move very easily at this point. Okay. I can just line them up. Now, I've got a UV flashlight. I've also got a UV light. I'm just showing you the flashlight so that I don't have to go off camera. You want to try to not look at the light. I'm not very helpful, am I? Now, I'm not resin sensitive, but if you are, definitely wear gloves. The UV resin isn't that much of a problem as in wearing a respirator, etc., because I don't use it very often, and I am in a very high volume, great ventilation room. Okay, so just cure it for 30 seconds or so and you are ready to go. So now I can mix up a 2-part quick cure resin if I want, and then it will be white, and then you can pop it out. Or I can use the quick cure resin and mix like mica powder. You can mix colorant and change the color so that it's not white. There are lots of different options there. Or you can do a 2-part resin and wait the 12 to 36 hours depending on your resin. They do have a new quick cure 2-part resin that is a 6-hour, I believe, cure. I want to try it. I realize other brands have had it out for a while, but Alumilite just came out with it. So I actually switched a while back ago from the Alumilite that I used to use to the epoxy resin store and used their resin. The Alumilite just changed formulas a bit, and I wasn't as pleased with it. So I will fill up the resin off camera and come back and show you the demold. Okay, now what I've done is mixed up the 2-part resin. What I've done first is take the B part, mixed it up in my cup here. I've got 2 lines. It's an equal ratio resin. So I poured the part B to the fill line, to the first fill line, and then I've added 3 colors. I don't know why I chose 3 colors, but anyway, 3 colors of the primary elements and some of the Unicone Art crushed crystal. A scoop, literally a scoop each of the blue, and 2 full scoops of the crushed crystal. So really, comparatively, it's not much. Now, one of the things I do realize is these primary elements, if you mix them with alcohol, that will reactivate the pigments, and that would have colored my resin, which is not what I wanted in this particular case. So just the straight powders with the resin. Alright, let's see what we got. Now do take care with your resin molds and don't just go ripping and tearing, because you will rip and tear your mold. So look how cute he looks. Now first of all, you can see the crushed crystal. It does give a kind of a reflective sparkle. but the blue does its own thing. It almost crystallizes, but not in a reflective way. In other words, it looks more granular, which I really like that. It goes really well with the eye color. Now, remember, we did use the UV resin. Sometimes you'll get a bubble under there, or you can always cut away the layer of UV resin because these are glass eyes, so you won't do any damage to them. But these are really clear. Sometimes they can look a little milky, and I have had to cut plenty of them away, so it's not a big deal. Especially if you do it right after you demold them, won't have a problem at all. Okay, now this is ready for a little antiquing cream if you want. The antiquing cream, you paint it on, let it dry, and then just with a wet wipe, just wipe away what you don't want. A little bit of acrylic paint pen on the details would be really pretty. A little metallic wax would be really pretty. A lot of variations. So just go with your heart and do what your heart tells you. But anyway, that's how to do the eyes. They're molded, and the glass cabochon will fit right in. But if you just pour the mold without any glass eyes, these will just be resin eyes. It'll look just the same. You can paint them up. Once again, lots of variations. Alright, so once again, I'll leave the link for the mold and the eyes. I'm not sure whether I've got the resin on there or not. I'll see. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your questions. If you have any more questions, just leave them down below. I've got an Amazon shop that I get a little kickback from. I've got a Etsy shop where I do sell my creations. Pinterest, Instagram, yada yada yada. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.